Hi, I'm Shay,
And I'm Shaylin.
and this is Shay's Scare Lounge. Today we're doing the 1985
Get your shit
slash
together.
86. People have said, so if you look it up online, it goes between both years.
I don't know. I think it's 85. Rated R.
That's what I said.
Because it's so scary. It was your
Yeah,
idea to do this
See,
movie.
according to Wikipedia, it says it's a 1986 film, but according to IMDb, it says 1985.
It's close
I don't know
enough.
who's correct. I wasn't there.
Well, when did you first see it? Because said you saw it when you were 10.
Well, I could have
Yeah,
been
so in the
10.
90s. And you loved it. You thought it was the best movie
Yeah, I
ever.
thought it was the greatest thing next to sliced bread, which I can see why. This is a ridiculous, goofy movie.
Yeah, it's a comedy. It wasn't supposed to be a comedy at all when it was originally written.
No.
Yeah.
No. It was supposed to be a horror film. It was written by
Decker.
yeah. And
Fred
what
Decker.
did he do before? He did Friday the 13th?
You know it. That's a good question.
Someone else
Google
who wrote this movie also wrote Friday the 13th, I think.
There were a lot of Friday the 13th ties, like the stunt
Yeah, I think
coordinator
it was
on
like
this.
Friday the 13th,
Kane
2
Hodder.
and 3 or something. It's like some weird things
There's
or whatever.
so many. Like even when people, like I said, the stunt coordinator on this was Kane Hodder, who we know as Jason Voorhees, but he's only Jason Voorhees in few of them. You know, like there's so many in that franchise. It's ridiculous. So yes, there's multiple ties to Friday the 13th.
Right.
In this lovable. I feel like this is a TV movie, was it not? Like it has that feel.
Oh. It does have that feel. It does like to fade to black.
Yeah, and like it just feels overall campy in a level, like I like it. I had never seen it before. When you mentioned doing it, I looked it up. It's perfect. It's like an hour and a half. That's the longest a movie should be ever.
It is a goofy movie, and what gets me is if you look at the effects and how is this not supposed to be a comedy? I don't understand.
I think that's probably why. I mean, it says like the comedy was added by Ethan what's his name, Wiley, when he wrote the script, but also I think once they saw their practical effects, they were like, this has to be some type of a comedy. No one's gonna actually be afraid.
This is ridiculous.
Yeah, I think it turns into almost a horror fantasy because it gets pretty wild. Like
it does.
It is a Vietnam vet turned horror novelist, goes back to the house after his aunt, correct? His aunt who raised him passes away.
She killed herself in the house.
Leaves the house to him. Though the house made her do it. Like she,
but she was found hanging in the first 5 minutes of the movie, in her bedroom or whatever, and then it gives it to her son Roger Cobb, who is this writer. I don't know what his first book was about, but his second book was going to be about
something horror. The name was cool. What was it? When he's at the signing, he holds up the book. You're gonna have to look that up, but it's a cool book. You know, this guy is cool. And then the guy in line is like, "Oh, what's your next horror book?" And he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna write about my Vietnam, experience." The guy's like,
he goes, "Oh,"
which was actually like a popular theme in a lot of 70s, 80s, 90s horror films. They attribute that to the recognition of PTSD and realizing how much and how scary and traumatic, like all of these soldiers had to come back and still live with this every day in the form of nightmares and other things like that. So I feel like it was very appropriate for the theme and the time. I don't know. I liked it. I like the guy, Cobb. He's a little extreme.
Yeah, Roger Cobb.
Norm, the neighbor. I don't know what his name is in the movie, but Norm from Cheers.
He plays Harold,
like the nosy neighbor.
The nosy ass neighbor, yes.
Who I love because he brings over beers. Like at least if you're gonna be that kind of neighbor, bring over some beers.
I think he wanted really bad to be in with celebrities. So that's why he stalks this guy's ex-wife, and finds her phone number.
I think he's doing that to save the guy because he realizes
I think he's trying to be like, "Hey, I'm, buddies, you come over and check out your ex-husband who needs you."
He's being nice. I think he's being a good neighbor. I think he had a man crush on the horror novelist. Like he
until he got all weird and they were in goggles and with harpoon guns in some random bedroom.
with the monster in the closet, who's supposed to be like napalmed Vietnam victims, correct? With bullets for fingers.
It's like monsters that come out and try to kidnap him to bring him back into, which is really like his fears and his.
Yeah, he has a lot of those flashbacks with the other guy. Where's that guy from? The other soldier. Is he also in Cheers? Where is he from? MASH?
Night Court.
From TV show. Oh, okay. I was like, he's in a show.
From Night Court.
I love. Yes. Yeah, I was like, I've definitely seen this guy before. So it keeps flashing back to him. And it also does an interesting flashback to his son disappearing.
Okay, I have so many weird, problems with this house.
I know.
Okay,
go ahead. Go.
Your son disappeared from the grounds of this house. He was in the pool, then he wasn't in the pool, or he was in the backyard and wasn't in the backyard. So he's gone. Yeah. Okay. And so
a car drives off. So it also maybe somebody kidnapped him.
You're thinking someone kidnapped him. You don't know what's going on. So you and your wife, obviously when tragic things happen with children, parents tend to divorce. And so they break up, and then your aunt dies in this house. And you go in there going, I'm going to write the best American novel. Like, I don't understand why you came back to the house. Why didn't you go sell this shit out?
He's white. That always happens in movies. Like, the white guy is like, oh, well, I'm going to stay here. The house was for sale with a sign. What does it say? Craven Realty. So maybe a nod to Wes Craven. But he walks in and tells
it is a nod to Wes Craven for the Craven Realty.
It's not for sale or whatever he says. And because the guy has all these ideas for how, and then he shoots the harpoon like right by his head, the realtor. And then it's like, I think I would flip out if somebody almost murdered me like
he
that. He
seemed really calm about that. William Catt is the actor, the blonde guy with the curly hair.
Yeah,
he was in Greatest American Hero.
Never saw that
television show. And then
I've also never seen the sequel to this movie, which is referenced in Scream 2. I don't know if you remember that.
It's just as bad. It has nothing to do with this guy. It's like the house is just bought by somebody else.
It's called The Second Story. Like, that's hilarious. I think The Second Story, like, they mentioned it in film class in Scream 2.
When they were talking about sequels?
Yeah, and I never put it together that it was this movie because I had never seen House. It's
totally different. The only thing that's the same is the house itself. A totally different, like, it's weird, just like this is. It has weird things where you go into a closet and then you're sucked into a different time. It's similar in that aspect, but it's also so whacked out.
Yeah, I might watch it just because I did like this one. I mean, it's not scary at all. It is more horror comedy in my mind.
It's way more comedy. It's like goofy, and the little monsters are, I don't know, Jim Henson.
Oh my gosh! They're a little ridiculous. The monsters,
the big, humongous, weird suit that the dress. It's supposed to be like his wife or something.
His ex-wife,
he shoots it.
Which I got nervous. I thought he actually like murdered his ex-wife, thinking it was one of those. But it was just the house can create.
It was just the house playing tricks on him. And then he goes and he buries it in the backyard. Okay, what is that about?
I know.
He buries it in the backyard.
Oh my gosh, that reminds me, because that scene, with the neighbor.
So it's some lady who so Norm is on one side, and this like weird Swedish.
I think she's across the street, isn't she?
I think she's next door. I think they're both next door.
Oh, I thought he watched her across the street.
After her run. Didn't watch her. She borrowed his pool.
No. Before, when he first sees her and she's running, and then he watched her go into her house. Yeah.
Yeah, she was just jogging down the street, and he was like,
she borrows his pool because she says the aunt used to let her swim there. But for some reason, she doesn't notice the hand that's like clearly coming from her foot, and he's burying a butt like
right. And I'm just like, this is whacked out. And then she brings.
So let me bring my kid over,
3-year-old son, watch him who
in the house.
I don't know you, and I'm just going to bring him over so you can meet him. Oh, by the way, I'm going on a date. Here's 5,000 toys.
I know.
Can you watch him?
I was like, he could literally be a creep, and you're just handing over your child, which there are people like that are stupid and way just oblivious. But
I'm so bothered by it. Like, it's not
a red flag would have been when he's in the bathroom with a kid, when he's trying to remove the hand from the back. And the kid comes out crying.
Right?
If some adult took my kid in the bathroom and the kid came out crying, I would like, one, at least ask some questions, but I'd be furious as to why you had my son with you in the bathroom. And no, then I'm going to say you should babysit him. I'm leaving.
Right?
Like, what is wrong with this woman?
So my favorite part is your favorite line in there. You sent me the video too. And he's like, so he's trying to type and whatever, and the kid's sitting there playing with some toy or whatever. So he's crying now because obviously he's in some stranger's house and his mom ditched him.
Yeah. He doesn't want.
So he's crying and he's like, "Oh, are you okay? Are you done playing with this toy? Would you rather play with a plastic bag?"
Yeah, the way he says it, he's like, "Oh, how about this? How about a plastic bag?" It just made me laugh because it's so terrible.
So then back to the actual plot of the movie. So he was in Vietnam. So now he's having these weird flashbacks that are manifesting in the house. And he ends up finding out that his son may have been sucked into the house by some painting that his weird, crazy, eccentric aunt painted.
Yes.
So then he ends up jumping into the medicine cabinet and finds this weird skull bat.
Yeah. Goes down. Yeah. Goes
down.
That's where it turns fantasy. It's like
it gets real nuts. But then he's going to the jungles of Vietnam, and he hears shots going off, but then his son is in a cage, so he breaks his son out. And then gets back to the house. He's like, "Hey, we're leaving." And then that's where Richard Mole,
Night Court,
comes in, the guy from Night Court. And he's dressed as a skeleton, decaying body. Well, apparently he is the one, because Roger Cobb did not kill him in Vietnam as he wanted him to. He was kidnapped and tortured for weeks. So he's like, "I'm going to get you."
Okay, so then he rescues the son.
Yeah,
and then how long has been? But like, what is the time frame that's passed? At least like years, right? 5 years or something. What I'm saying is, so then the wife shows up, and they're just going to be like, "Oh, cool, my son's still alive after all." So I'm saying the little boy didn't age, and now they're just going to all of a sudden have a son again. I mean, like that's weird.
Because she shows up at the end, and it's like, "Oh my god!" And it's like, "Hey, there's no one questioned why he hasn't aged in any way."
Well, and how he just appeared again.
Right. So then he ends up killing Richard Mole, or Big Ben, by sticking a grenade in his belly, and he explodes. But it's like the whole thing was supposed to be this evil entity, Big Ben, kidnapped his son.
Yeah.
And held him captive until his dad could figure it out.
Yeah. So weird.
It's so weird.
Really, really weird. But yes, I don't know. Yes. I watched it.
It's fun for an escape if you are able to absolutely suspend all reality, because it makes no sense.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yes. This is one of those movies. Fantasy.
Oh, beyond fantasy. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
That takes absolute serious subjects like PTSD, children disappearing, suicides, death, and
we in some real serious shit.
Put them all together and make it a comedy. Here you go.
Yes. Very 80s. I feel like very 1985.
It's very 80s. If you look at the special effects, you're like, very 80s.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Okay.
It's so much. It's a lot. I give it 2. I give it 2 houses.
Yeah, okay. I was like, are you doing houses or the disembodied hand that doesn't exist?
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. Should we do the hand then?
Yeah.
Let's do the hand. Okay.
2?
I give it 2 hands.
Gosh, what is the percentage of 2 out of 5? I always wonder. I need to do some math.
I don't know. I don't math.
Because I don't want to give. Yeah, I think I'm going to probably say 2 as well.
It is 40%. 40% is 2 out of 5.
Oh, so I'm going to say 2.5. 2.5.
So you think you're going to go try and go 50? You're going to go 50%?
Yeah, because it's not terrible. It's, I find it fun to watch at least once. Well, is that it? Do your little line.
I do believe so. I think that's all we got. If you have anything else to add or anything, no? You're good?
No.
Okay. Follow us on Facebook. Follow us on Instagram. Like, subscribe, share, hit the bell, ding, ding, all the things. And leave a comment. Go to our new website. You can find it on our link tree on our Instagram. So do all those things there. Until next time. Bye. Ding dong, you're dead.
Damn it.
I just see your cooter. I don't. Hi. I'm Shea.
Photos.
Are we not? Wait. Are we sorry?
Sure, go ahead.
Are you good? I can start now. Thanks.
I guess.